Okay, guys. So this is C. I was about to say ASP, but now we're just C. Um, so today's lecture 3. We're gonna learn about functions and classes, which in C we'll call it structs. One thing you might have noticed is that today I'm wearing an eye patch. And also you might notice I'm in Shadow Moses Island, so you can see like Metal Gear Rex is behind me, right? So I'm like literally on Shadow Moses. Okay, so that's my Solid Snake cosplay. Anyways, here's what we'll cover today. Pause the video and read it for yourself. Okay, so first, what's a function? Well, let me just open my terminal real quick and let's. Okay, so I hope you still remember our hello world from last time. Oh god, it's called hello.c, right? Yup. Okay, so a function. Okay, just pause and read it yourself. Okay, so here's how a function works, right? So in the main function, yes, main is a function, and main function is where the program starts. When you call another function, right? So you have defined, oh, you have declared and defined the function. Okay, mind you, when you have a function, you can like declare it somewhere here. It must be before main that you declare. So before you use it, you must declare it. But it doesn't mean before you use it, you must define it. So you can declare a function on top of here and then you define it down there. So you declare up here, define down there. As long as you declare it before you use it. So when you call the function, the program jumps all the way up here to where the function is and run the code inside the function, and then once it's done, it goes back to a line after you call the function. So actually what happens inside the computer when it does this is that when you call a function, it has a stack, right? It pushes the place of your current thing into the stack, and then it pushes the function into the stack, and then it executes. And once it's done, it pops the function's like address outside of the stack, and it goes back to where the address of the line you were just executing. So remember, okay, you didn't learn about stack yet. We'll talk about that later on in lecture 6. Okay, so here's how you define, right? So predefined main is a function and it's defined for you. And you can see like what does the int here, int, what does it mean? Oh, it means it returns an integer value. So you can see you're returning a 0, which is an integer here. So talking about it, what's return values? You know what, just read the slide yourself. I'll show you what return is later. Where's return? Oh yeah, whatever. You know what, let's just create a function first. Okay, so screw all these useless code. So if you're following me along, you can see like our progress. Okay, whatever. Anyways, let's just make a function. So let's also call our function hello world. Okay, and let's make it do something. So let's do you know what, let's just keep it simple. So I have an int. Let's just call it int a is 0. Okay, I made a global variable there, and then let's just do a plus plus and then return a. Okay, so every time I call hello world, what is it gonna do? It's gonna add 1 to a and it's gonna return the value of a. So you know what, let's try that. So okay, so what do you think it's gonna print when I do this? Okay, so when I do the print, it's gonna call hello world. Okay, you know what? This is too complicated. Let's keep it simple. Let's just do int b equals hello world. Okay, and then what if I okay? So what is b now? B is gonna be 1, right? Okay, so you know what? Let me just call hello world like 4 more times. So what is it gonna be now? What's a gonna be? It's gonna be like 2, 3, 4, right? So a is gonna be 4. Okay, so let's just print that out. And then b and a. Okay, so let's just try that first. Okay, yeah, it's 1 and 4. Okay, I forgot to type the You see, that's why you always do the slash n when you're done, because slash n is actually not just switching to a new line, right? It's like flushing the buffer, flushing the right buffer, so you don't get those weird characters. So yeah, as you can see, that's what the function does. Okay, so essentially what this advanced thing does is that let's try out the return value. So when we're printf, we're passing the return value of this function into there. So we're not actually we're passing the function as a parameter, but it's actually also a return value. So this thing should print a 5, right? So you can see I have a 5. Oh, forgot to do the slash n again. Okay, remember to do the slash n, or else you're gonna get weird stuff at the end of your code because the right buffer. Okay, yeah, as you can see, this is how the thing works. Okay, so yeah, calling a function, you just simply write its name and brackets. So yeah, you know what? Let's do some parameters now. Oh yeah, I'm going through the slides very quickly, so if you feel like you want to look at something longer, just pause the video. Okay, so let's do another one. Okay, let's call this one. Let's make it void hello world 2. Okay, that's pretty simple, and let's give it okay, let's call it Z. Okay, you know, let's call it K after myself. Okay, great. So we have hello world 2. What are we gonna do here? Let's make it do something useful. Okay, so let's just do a or okay, here, and then it's void, right? So what is a void? Okay, when you write void, it basically just means you can just write return without a value, but in this case we don't even need a return. So let's call hello world 2. Let's add what value to a, you know, let's add 7 because I like that number. Okay, so now let's print f. Okay, and let's see what we've got. As you can see, it went from 5 to 12, right? So you essentially added 7 because you passed it as a parameter to here, and you added to a. Okay, now let's combine with some other stuff. Okay, let's do some pointers. Okay, so remember pointers from last lecture? How about we make this int star k, and then let's do k equals okay, let's try that. Okay, so every time we call it, it's gonna times k by 2. Okay, so let's make a new one, new variable, int j equals, let's just make it 2. Okay, so now it's taking int star k. What does that mean? It means it's a pointer, right? So what does pointer store? Address, right? So how do we pass an address as a parameter? Well, remember last time we learned about the address like symbol, you just take the address. So here we want to pass j's address, right? So we just do this symbol j. Okay, now we pass j inside. So now if we print out j, print j after, j should be 4, right? As you can see, j is 4. Wow, that means our code works. Very well. So essentially what we can do here is that we can do something very cool. For example, let's calculate 2 to the power of 10, okay? Okay, great. Now essentially you can just calculate the power of 2 to the power of 10 using this. Okay, oops, accidentally did 11. Doesn't matter. Yeah, well, okay, so now you can see that's how parameters work. Let's do some cool stuff with return values. Oh yeah, you can also pass multiple parameters of any type you want. Okay, in the future, I'm also going to teach you how to pass functions as parameters, but that's kind of like complicated. So here's how you pass arrays. Just read the example. Okay, great. Now it's return values. Well, actually, we covered that just now, but let's do something else. So let's, you know what? Let's do something to hello world. Let's, instead of returning a value, let's return an address. So let's return the address of A, okay? So now here's how it's gonna work. Okay, so let's just make a new variable. Let's make a new pointer, because here we're returning a pointer, so we need a pointer to store it. So let's call it P, okay? P for pointer. And let's make it hello world, okay, like that. So essentially what we have is that we're gonna have the address of A returned, right? So what is the address of A? Address of A points to here. And what is in there is the value of A. So okay, so now let's print out. Let's print out. Okay, let's print out the address of P, okay? And then let's print out the address of A. So we have P and then A, okay? They should be the same thing, right? And you see they are the same thing, right? Exactly same. So here's what we're gonna do to P, okay? Let's just print out the value of P. Okay, you know what, let's value of star P, okay? And then let's do that. So here, what do you think I will get? It's pointing to A, and then what is in A? It's 0, and what is after calling hello world is 1, right? So P star P should be 1. And as you can see, it is. Okay, so that's how you do very cool stuff with return values. Yeah. Okay, next. Here's an example. Okay, declare vs define. I talked about it already. Basically, what do you do in declare is that you can just star hello world and then just do that. Okay, that's called declare. You just declared it, but you didn't define what it is. And let me just do let me just delete that and paste it on the bottom, okay? So normally if I don't write this line of code, it's not gonna work, right? Because I didn't tell the program what this thing is. And normally if I delete this line, it's not gonna work as well, right? U for undo, okay? So because it doesn't know, like when it's calling hello world here, the program didn't execute until here yet, so they don't know what's hello world. But once I declare it here, I can define it after that. But because the program knows this thing already exists, it can work. So you can see it works the same. So that's the difference between declare and define. Okay, just pause the video. Okay, yeah, now time to do recursion. Recursion is very cool, but it also might accidentally crash your program, so just be careful with it. So let's go to hello again. Okay, which one should we do recursion with? Let's do hello world 2, because I don't like it. Okay, you know, let's just call it hello. Let's make 2 variables, int a. No, we already have a. Okay, let's do int x, int y. Okay, so what are we gonna do? Recursion is when a function calls itself, right? So let's just make it call itself. So for example, the user puts 2 random values, like put like 2 and 4. Okay, let's say 2 and 4. So let's do something. How about we return? Okay, what are we gonna return? We return the return value of hello, and then we do how should we do it? Let's try that first. Okay, essentially what we have is that every time we run hello, x is gonna be times by 2, and then y is gonna be -1. So okay, so how about let's stop the program so it doesn't crash, okay? So when y is 0, let's just return x. Okay, let's see how it works. So okay, so first we have x and y, which is 2 and 4, right? So first loop is gonna this thing's gonna do nothing. X is gonna be 4, and it's 4 and 3. So 4 and 3 here is gonna do nothing, and then it's gonna be 8 and 2, and then it's gonna be 16 and 1, and it's gonna be 32 and 0. So once it's 0, it's gonna return 32. So let's just try it by calling. Okay, let's just do that. Okay, and let's just do int j equals hello, and then 2 and 4 to see if our prediction works. Yeah, it works. It's 32. Okay, so there you go. That's how recursion works. Recursion can be used to do a whole lot of things. Okay, here's another example for recursion. Um, okay, here's explaining how it works. Okay, so recursion can be used to do so many things. Like there's like infinitely many applications of recursion to like from algorithms to like to calculating stuff, to do rendering, to like make video games, whatever like that. So recursion can do so many things. It's like, yeah, basically recursion is very important. Okay, so now let's look over some basic functions like square root, rounding, ceiling and floor, power, exponents, and then other math functions. Just pause the video and look at it yourself. Okay, next, practice 1. Write a function to calculate pi to 6 digits. Okay, yeah, this is basically homework for you to do. If you don't know, just like talk to me on Discord or like send me an email or something. Yeah. I mean, these should be pretty easy, except yeah, they're all pretty easy. For the pi one, you can search it up. Search up the method, not the search up the method, not the code. Okay. Okay, great. Now we're gonna learn about object-oriented programming, or I mean, that's just a fancy name for saying structures. So let's jump right into it. Okay, you know what? We're done with functions. They're dumb now. Okay, let's do something cool. Structures. Okay, great. So I just eated all the code. You know what? Let's just delete. Yeah, we don't need this. Okay, yeah, great. Let's do some structure. So what is a structure? Well, a structure is basically a variable that has variables inside it, right? So okay, let's do struct. What should we name it? Apple, right? Apple, because I like it. Okay, so let's do int. What is a... Okay, we have a structure apple. So this variable represents an apple. So what are we gonna have in the apple? Let's do its size, okay? Size. For example, like it's like 5 cm radius if the apple's a sphere. Okay, we can also do a float volume. I don't know how to spell volume, like that or like that. I had no idea. Okay, anyways, so for example, like that, you know. Okay, we can also do some other stuff. For example, what else can we put in there? Let me think. What other cool stuff can we give to an apple? Perhaps we'll put a function. Nah, that's too early. Okay, yeah. So let me just declare an apple here. So let's call apple. Let's call it Steve. You know, you get it? Yeah, Steve. Okay, so let's give some values to it. So size. Okay, for size, let's just make it 1 cm. Okay, 1 cm. And how do you calculate volume? Actually, I forgot. So let's just treat it as a cube. So it's also 1. Okay, you know what? Make it cool. So like 2 and 8. Okay, yeah. Great. So now we have a cube apple that's like 2 side length and 8 cubic cm. So oh, I forgot to do equal sign. Okay, another way to access it's like members or so-called attributes is that you do Steve size is equal to 2. Okay, like 3. Okay, right. So let's do that. So let's print out the size of Steve. So as you can see, although Steve is an apple, when you do Steve dot something, Steve dot size, it's an int, right? It's Steve, and it's going back to apple, and then apple is going back to size. So it's actually an integer. Okay, great. So we can also print f the volume of Steve. Okay, no idea if I got that correct, that spelling. So tell me in the comments if I got it right. Oh yeah, right. Forgot to write struct. Apparently, forgot. Yeah, that should work. Okay, 2 and 8. Oh, just give me 2 and 8. Yeah, 2 and 8. Oh wait, it's 3 because we changed it. Yeah, anyways. So that's how it works. Okay, now let's put a function in there. Actually, I kind of forgot how it works because I haven't done it in a while, but let's just do apple eat, okay? And then let's declare as is that how you do it? I actually forgot. Let me just find an example. Oh yeah, right. Maybe you can't do it. Can you? You know what? Let's search it up right now. Struct C function. Yeah, you can. Oh, you cannot. It's C. Yeah. Haha. So I was confusing it with C++ for a while because you know in C++ you can have like attributes and methods and those kind of stuff. So in C++ you can put a function inside the struct. But in this case in C we can't, okay? Because we're starting with vanilla. We're doing vanilla stuff. So you know what? Let's instead do something that's really cool, which we're gonna make a function return an apple. So let's do it eat. Okay, let's call it eat and then int byte. Let's do that. So what are we gonna do is that each time when you byte, it decreases the size of apple. That's gonna be pretty cool, right? So let's also pass in the struct. Being eaten. Okay, so you see, I essentially made a apple pointer, right? It's an apple pointer. So let's just do being eaten and then do that. No, wait, yeah, it's that size, because for a variable use a dot, and then for the pointers use that arrow. Okay, so being eaten size is okay, let's just make that minus byte. Okay, and then return. Yeah, we should make this a pointer as well. Why the hell are we doing this? Okay, return being eaten. Right, this should work. Don't forget to call it. So yeah, you know what? Let's just do oh yeah, it's not size or minus. It's the volume. It's the volume. How do we get this confused? Right? You don't decrease the apple size. Well, you do, but it's the volume you're decreasing. Right? Each time you eat. So let's just do that, and then we have okay. You know what? Steve's size is, let's just make the size 3 because I want the apple to be big, right? Who doesn't like a big apple? So let's make that 27. Okay, great. So let's call this. So let's make a new one. Struct apple r equals eat, and then let's pass Steve, and then we're gonna just eat 2.0, okay? Because we're not that greedy. So instead of these, let's just do r and then r. Okay, right. So what is it gonna be? It's gonna be 3 and 25 after you eat it, right? Because it's gonna minus that. Okay. Now let's just compile. Oh, maybe I got something confused. Oh my god, it's really memory's dead. Can't be, right? Can't be. Yeah. Okay, this is a pointer type. Am I getting something mixed up? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I am. Okay, great. So let's fix that code real quick. Okay, minus equals byte. Okay, thanks to compiler for reminding me. So every time we have Steve here with the size and volume, and then r is a pointer that gets the result from this, and we pass in the address of Steve, which is this thing, and we take a volume of 2 byte out of it. Okay, so make the thing being eaten, which is actually Steve, and then we minus this thing. Okay, so what happens after we call this? What happens is that it goes in here, and then 27 minus 2, and then it returns this thing. Well, this thing is Steve, so r is actually pointing to Steve, right? Well, we can prove that. Okay, print r equals, and then Steve equals. Okay, great. So let's just do that. As you can see, they have the same address, and after you take a byte out of it, it's like 25. So that's pretty cool. That's how you do you pass pointer parameters and structures. You combine the functions with the structure we just learned today. So that's awesome, right? It's awesome. You can do so many things with this. Just pause the video and look at all these slides and like yeah, do that kind of stuff and that and that. Okay, now do here's a car example. Okay, now do the same for students. Okay, make a struct. Okay, and also like make some functions like what I did here that does stuff to the student. For example, like student go to school, what's gonna happen? You see you have grades. So what happens when a student is like gaming? Well, the grades will drop, right? So what happens when the student like skips a course? Well, like what happens when a student changes course? Then you have to write a function to like take in two parameters. It's like the original course and the new course, and you have to change that, right? So yeah, just do that for homework. And if you have any questions, just like literally go here and then go to this Discord thing and talk to me, or go to the website or like sign up or whatever. So yeah, GG guys, that's pretty good today. And I'd say you're pretty good. See you on the next one.